Oh, hey. You want to jam out with us? Let me tell you a little story. Once, this is a lighthearted story. Once was a man named Vanille. He lost his heart to a broke bitch. From that day forward, he pledged to never be a simp. This is that story. Oh, bitch, bring that fat ass over here. I wanna hit, I wanna smash, I wanna make that back go all the way to the crash, 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 crash. I'm gonna break that back. I'm gonna give you this dick, make you feel sick when your stomach gets all mudded up with the dick. That's me. That's me. This is Vanille. This is my life. And welcome to the Couch Surfing Podcast. I'm your boy Waffles.
And it's Maui.
And this is Couch Surfing. Don't pay no attention to that video. That's just a story about my friend Vanille, how he went from simp to player. You know, if you watch this man, he roll up with the Rolex and the gold chains and the diamond earrings, you know, from straight out of Africa, the size of your fucking nuts. Anyway.
Wait. Whose nuts are we talking about?
Obviously not mine. I got that super nut. You already know. My nut's about the size of a fucking plum. I only got the one.
The shriveled kind of plums? Sun-dried plums? Is that what we're talking about?
I mean, we're talking sacks. Name a single sack. Like, can you imagine a nut sack? And it's like a plump, like a smooth, plump nut sack? You'd be worried.
I was like looking for something. No, it's more like this, huh? Like that.
Yeah, like this is what like a nut sack basically represents, right? Like, we're not talking about nut sacks this episode. Maybe another time. Today we're talking about what you can do with a nut sack. What? Like hobbies. You know what I mean? Like some people, right? I know professional, professional nut scratchers.
I was just like, when you said like the whole, that segue was pretty bad. But for me,
are we here for good segues?
No, definitely not.
Are you here to listen to me say really weird shit?
But I don't know if the mic picked it up, but I went, what? And in my head, I associated, like, my first thought was like the Minions, like when they get that stupid, what? You know, like. Yeah. So hobbies, is that what we're talking about today?
We're talking about just basically what you do in life that makes life worth living. You know what I mean?
So like, what's your escape from reality in form of hobbies?
100. Well, in the form of really anything, right? Vanille smashes bitches.
But isn't that what a hobby is, right? Like a hobby is just like whatever like escapes you from like whatever you think is torture in a sense. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Like smashing
pastimes.
Yeah, exactly.
People do. I've been seeing this a lot on Instagram, but like I don't know why it's been more relevant. Like long walks on the. They used to be so cliche, but it's coming back now, bro. It's
honestly,
right? I could understand why people like long walks on the beach. It's like. Okay, cool.
I cannot understand that. Look at this guy. This guy is not.
I also think you say that because we live like an hour from the beach, so it's not like convenient for you to get.
It's not inconvenient for me to go either, right? Like I can go, like San Jose, right? We just go ahead and say, "You want to go to the beach today?"
Yeah, pretty much how we used to roll it, right? It was like, "Hey, bonfire tonight?" Yes.
10 o'clock at night. It's already dark. Yeah, let's roll to a pitch black beach, light a fire. And let's bring the girls that'll cry in about 4 hours, and that can be the rest of our night.
We'll bring a speaker. We'll fit whatever needs we need to. We'll bring the wood. We'll bring the music. The girls can sit on the blankets and cry their eyes out to when they catch their feels after they drink their White Claws. The guys can go fucking be guys and try and do drunk backflips and eat shit.
Yep. That was always the role. That was always the thing, right? Because again, hobbies, right? Escapes from reality. That's what it was. That's what it is.
Oh, dude. But that was the thing. It wasn't about the destination. It was about, for me, it was the people, right? I was like, oh, dude, who's going? Oh, K-Dog's going. Fucking V-Dog.
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 Giving you that V.
My boy Venezi's coming.
That is going to be my theme for the whole podcast. Just talk about how many bitches you smash.
Yeah, like K-Dog's going. VP's going. Fucking Age is there. Fucking see homies out there. You know what I mean?
See homie. I love that.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh shit, see homie's gonna be there. I'm definitely going. But like, if you get the wrong crowd, there's never that incentive to be like, all right, let's go for it. You know?
See nizzle my fizzle.
Like, to be really honest, we went for mine and Age's birthday, right? We did a whole thing, and only people I knew there were you, our producer,
You know
Age.
Austin.
I knew them, but I didn't know them
You knew
enough.
A-Dog.
Who the fuck is A-Dog?
We're just throwing names, homie. Like, don't even associate them with it.
You don't know A Nizzle? A fo shizzle
Oh
dizzle?
my god. But you know what I mean, though, right? Like, it wasn't. I was the first one there, and I set up. But at the same time, I was like, I don't know, not like 60% of the people here.
I felt bad on that day because genuinely we were like, it's Steve and Charles' day. We're all gonna go to the beach. We're gonna get drunk. We're gonna have fun. And then we reminisced about the glory days of being in 6th grade.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, none of the
stress.
and that was the thing. I was like, why are you so quiet? I was like, everything you guys were talking about was never there. You know what I mean? Y'all were talking about your middle school days, and I was at a different middle school.
Right.
How do I chime in? Oh, I remember that time when you guys were in 6th grade and I wasn't there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, how am I gonna fit myself in?
Right.
I'd have to pull y'all into something that, hey, new song choice, let's do that.
Right.
Hey, Jungle Juice, you know, I can talk about Jungle Juice because it's something visible and it's in the moment, kind of thing, you know?
It's like, let's get smashed and talk about how fucked up we are.
And that was the thing, though, it was like, there was no time, like, in that group that we had, there was no time lapse where I've been like, hey, remember when Kristen and Vanille and you and I hung out? No, that never happened. You know what I mean?
Right. Which actually, this is actually the saddest thing. Because like, and we're gonna get back to like a hobby.
I mean, we're kind of still on the same topic.
So
We just
We're on
kinda
like hobbies and pastimes.
Right. But like, I don't even hang out with like with any of like me, Kristen, E.G., Ariella. We're homies, right? But like,
I literally only hung out with them because I ran into them. I didn't even hang out with them.
but like Kristen and Austin, right? They're like, like Kristen will be like, Austin, let's go get some boba and I can spill the tea. You get it?
Yeah, and then like Austin will hang out with Ariella. It's just me and you don't hang out with anybody.
We are like, well, I mean, again, right? Like, you don't have time to hang out with childhood bitches because, you know, like, you can't smash childhood bitches. You smash new bitches.
Good. They just
Yeah, you just-
I love to watch you give it a shot. Like, I love to watch you have the patience and time for any of your childhood.
But I was gonna say that's true. You get to know them so much longer. You know, like, oh, I can't do it. There's so many red flags you already have on
Right.
them. You know what I mean?
Like,
you love them as people, but it's like if we dated, that's a red flag. No, that's I see 2 red flags. Okay,
Right.
all right, it's a no go.
when it's a childhood, like look at me and Cassie, right? Like, we were friends for years. I know Cassie's entire track record. That, you know, I took that and I was like, I don't give a shit. It's fuck. And that's like 7 years,
like
successful relationship.
Like, this is off topic, but someone asked me once, they're like, could you ever fuck a friend? I'm like, let's say we're out both drunk, it's just been a while. I'd be like, I'm down, but like a lot of people can't do that.
Me and
Well,
Cassie
it's
have
because
had
you're
like several conversations about like, if you were gonna end up with any girl in the friend group, who would it be and why?
Alright.
I'm not gonna tell you who it would be and why.
You will after this podcast is
because
over.
the people listen. But those people listen.
All right,
Okay.
I mean,
But
we all know it's me, but you're good.
Alright,
You're
back
good.
to hobbies. What do you like doing in your free time?
What do I like doing in my free time? We all know what I
Okay,
like.
wait. Let's do this. What did your hobbies used to look like, and now what do they look like?
Oh, well, I will say, masturbating has definitely fallen down the hobby list. You know, it used to be pretty much my only real hobby. I'm gonna be real. I didn't do much. I
No,
played
well-
video games.
Wait,
I
like
far
how,
back are you going? I feel
I
like you're talking
know,
about the
I'm
sports.
back in like 7th grade.
Bro, okay, you played like football,
Okay, let's-
basketball,
Those were
volleyball.
hobbies. Those were jobs.
Let's put them in the realm. Let's put them in the realm like when I was prevalent, right?
Oh,
Like,
when you were
we-
prevalent?
Yeah.
All right.
Like, what were
Then-
our hobbies?
Well, yeah, Magic, the
So
Gathering,
card games, right?
and
Yeah.
Vanguard. Card games.
Well,
That's
okay.
what we do.
Let me see if I could rap off a list, or like a rap list.
Well,
rap sheet right now.
let me finish what I was
Okay,
saying.
sorry,
'Cause
sorry.
I was gonna take it to card games anyway,
Oh, okay.
but I definitely wanted to make a masturbation joke.
Oh, go ahead. Finish.
No, that was
Finish
the
your
joke.
joke. Oh, see
You
that?
were in the
Look
joke.
at I just stole the punchline. Finish. There you go.
Yeah.
No.
You- Oh, we were fucking.
There's the guy that smashed
Oh.
bitches.
You didn't even hear mine. Oh. Did mine just go over his head? Did mine go over both of your guys' head?
What did you say?
I got yours.
Oh, what was mine?
When you said when you finished.
Yeah, you finished.
Yeah, you finished.
I
Yeah.
finished.
Get it? Yeah.
Finish. Yeah.
No, but
Do you need
in all real talk, most of my hobbies really just included like, just whatever card game was available. Because like I have like I don't gamble, right? I know a lot of people like gambling as a hobby. Card games is the closest and safest thing you can get to gambling without actually gambling. Because the whole premise is really like you show up and you buy these packs, and like I swear to God, I'll be like a cocaine addict with these packs. I'll drop $200 on a box.
Yeah.
Just so I can unwrap the plastic, look at the last card, and go, "This is shit."
Yeah. You're that Mr. like chance guy for sure.
Right, yeah.
Because like I was like, well, I mean, like you could gamble. It's just like just don't put money on it. That's not gambling. But I see where you went with that.
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah, for sure. Because I was like, there's part of me that always does that too. Where I was like, yeah, I kind of want to get lucky.
Right.
Yeah, like I could buy the card for cheaper, but if I pulled it, it'd just be that much more exciting.
Yeah. No, like when we used to go to TCG play.
Yeah.
I remember it. We would be like, a pack is $3. If we pull this card right here, I just made $6.
I mean, that was my incentive of always going to tournaments. I was like, okay, I'm putting in $5 to enter this tournament.
Right.
I could win $20 worth of packs.
Right.
So now I've kind of made back my money in a sense that not technically because I still pulled trash. But like I was like the cost was minimalized. I just had to earn it now,
Yeah.
So it was like there's some gambling, but now it's earned gambling.
Now it's the difference between playing a roulette table, right? Because I play my form of opening pack. I play roulette.
Yeah. No, 100%.
I just dump the money and I go, give me the money.
Yeah, but like you're not like. Because, like, the cards are so individual, you're not, like, red or black. You're, like, 23 blue! Right,
yeah, exactly.
23 black, let's go!
It's like all the colors of the rainbow, and I'm like, let's roll a purple! Yeah. But you're like a blackjack man, you know what I mean? You're like, you're keeping an eye on the table.
I'm the blackjack man where, like, the house is keeping their eye on. Because I'm, like, counting the cards, and I'm like, okay, how can I hedge my bets the most? But at the same time, I felt like I earned it,
Right.
And then we had a friend who was also in our group who was just the opposite of both of us. He was just give me the cards, I want the best deck, I just want to win.
Right.
Right. It wasn't a matter of like, he didn't care about the tournaments, he just wanted the best deck and he just wanted to win.
Right.
And that's fine, that's fair.
Yeah, that's kind of the whole point of like a hobby. Some people can take it that far, like I just want to be the best.
But that was the thing about hobbies is like, we all had the same hobby, but we all had different aspects on it, right?
Right.
But again, we all shared in the aspects of, hey, let's play now. Okay.
Right.
Well, my deck's pretty trash, but we'll make it work.
Like a prime example is like that Planeswalker deck I have in Magic the Gathering.
Well, which one? You have multiple.
No, I have one main Planeswalker deck.
Which Planeswalker then? Sorry.
No. So like.
Like which Planeswalker was it?
No, that's what I'm trying to tell you.
Okay, sorry.
So like when I say Planeswalker deck. So like there are these decks people have called Super Friends, right? They'll put like 10, maybe like 7 to 10 Planeswalkers. And that's a lot of Planeswalkers.
Yeah.
Right? Because Planeswalkers genuinely are slow.
Yeah.
I instead I'm gonna build a deck of like out of 100 cards, 30 of them.
Are we talking Commander?
Yeah.
Okay.
30 of the cards in that whole deck are Commanders. So I have effectively, I have 30 Planeswalkers.
But for people who don't understand Magic, like explain why having 30 Commanders is like.
Yeah.
Explain.
So what my hobby again is like Magic and card games. So
board games,
like this,
tabletop.
Tabletop, right?
There you go.
Tabletop. So Commander is a format of Magic. And if you're not in the Magic Gathering and you do like tabletops, like you like D&D or like you just like tabletop games like board games, I really recommend it. It's so fun. And it's actually very simple, right?
Yeah, it's easy to make friends too, man.
There's so many Magic players. But so Commander is a specific game format. You have standard 40 card decks, up to 4 of one card, and then you're just playing to kill the other person. Commander is special. You get one card, like a 100 card deck, only one card of each type of card, right? So like if I have like
so you can have the same card twice.
Right. Like my favorite card is Fog, right? The reason why that's my favorite card is because you tap a green, right? You get, and I'm not going to get into the mechanics.
Here, let me like try and see if I could break it down.
Yeah,
so I know less. Let me see if I can explain it better.
Yeah.
So like tapping. So like you have to play nature cards, right? Lands, right?
Of
and
5 colors.
to access the power of specific spells or heroes, right? You have to tap the land, which means that you're extracting those resources to activate that card. In his case, the fog card. So now explain the details of fog.
So basically, you tap a single green, right? So you play a land, you tap it, and you get to basically negate all combat damage because the point of the game is you get creatures, enchantments, artifacts, lands, planeswalkers, and just normal instants and sorceries.
Nice.
Those are the card types. There are a few extra card types I don't give a shit about.
Yeah, it gets. They break it down more and more, but like he said the basics.
And now the reason why I bring up the Planeswalker deck is because of this. When I show this deck to people, I love the reaction. So the other day I was playing with our friend Chris and a couple of his friends. Yeah. And they were like, "You have a Super Friends deck?" "Oh shit, I know a couple people with Super Friends deck." And I always look at them like, "No, those are Super Friends deck.
Yeah.
This is Super Friends deck. You play this deck. Literally, like it was beautiful. You play it, and you just have 6 Planeswalkers down, and everybody's like, okay, and here's why I love the deck, because it trips people up a little bit.
Well, let me see if I can put it into words again. So it's like Super Friends is like the Justice League, and your deck was Justice League Unlimited.
Yes, exactly. Right.
Okay.
Right. And the beautiful part of it is like when you have a Planeswalker down. Mm-hmm. So a Planeswalker in the game is effectively like you saying, "I'm God." Yeah. And these are my angels. Mm-hmm. Right? And then you have your creatures, those are like humans, and then everything else. Yeah. So you play a Planeswalker, and then to lose the game, your life total needs to hit 0. Right. But when you play a Planeswalker, the other person needs to pick whether or not they swing at you or your Planeswalker.
So they have to direct their attack. Right. Because you don't direct attacks generally in regular
Magic. You usually just go, I swing at you, and someone takes, okay, I'll block with this creature. You can't swing at the creature. But with a Planeswalker, it fucks that all up, because they're just like, okay, you're at what? You're at 40 life? Yeah. Which is a lot.
And you start at 20?
No, you start at 40.
Oh, you do start.
But like, with that deck, you'll be late game. And we can stop talking about the deck after this. You know.
Up to you, man. Up to you.
No, like either way. But like, so you get it. You understand. Yeah. It's so fun.
Let's put it in Marvel terms too, because we put it in DC terms.
Marvel terms is actually
So like Marvel would be like Avengers, like MCU, right? Avengers the first movie, and your deck would be Avengers Endgame. Where all the heroes come together. Yes. Instead of like the basic 7 or 8 that they had, yours is all the Avengers at Endgame. But you take on whoever you're playing against.
I'm Nick Fury, and everybody else is in my deck, and that's why I love Magic. Because like the best part about Hobbies is that genuinely, I'm a firm believer that everybody needs a hobby. Because if you don't have a hobby, you are stuck with people who have to think a specific way. If your only interaction is with people at work, you're just stuck with people who are coming into work and think of you as a co-worker. So they're not going to talk to you, right? You play Magic, I've heard the wildest stories playing Magic. I've met the most wild,
that's the beauty of like hobbies too, especially like card games like that, is like you run into people you wouldn't expect to be playing. We have a friend who lives in Georgia who played Yu-Gi-Oh! And he was a die-hard Yu-Gi-Oh! Player. You look at him and you're like, this fool would never touch
this man beat up nerds.
Yeah, pretty much like he would never touch a Yu-Gi-Oh! Card in his life. No, this fool bred Yu-Gi-Oh! Like he breathed that was his bread and butter. Yep. But on the side hand, he was also like literally a home run king. Yeah. You know what I mean?
He was like, I play baseball for the soul, but I play Yu-Gi-Oh! Kick your ass. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's the beautiful part of a hobby. You can do both.
Oh, right? Yeah.
I play Magic for the soul and to watch people lose their minds over some of the shit people have done.
Well, that's the thing too, is like I remember you used to play in drafts and like, I don't know, was it because if I remember correctly, you didn't do well in drafts.
No. No.
Was it the game style, or like what was it that made it so hard for you to like adjust? Was it like on the fly thinking that really threw you off?
Sort of. So like basically, right, like a good Magic player, right, and that's what again I love about Magic is that there have all these formats you play. There's draft, standard, modern.
It's suitable to all people. You don't have to be the best. You don't have to be like super smart. You don't be like for me. I don't play it like it's not my main game. I play it not my main hobby. But like I borrow one of your decks. I'm like, all right, show me the gist, and like I'll try and figure out the rest from there. And I enjoy it, and I still try to win. But you know what I mean? It's like okay, I could.
Can I actually tell you something funny that happened the other day?
Oh yeah, always.
So when I went to go play Magic, we were like, okay, we played one game of Commander, and that took 4 hours. Right?
Jeez.
And so we were like, one more game, call it a night.
Wait, why did it take so long?
So the normal Magic is 1v1.
Yeah.
Commander is multiple. So we had 5 players on board. And if I'm being honest, right, when Chris plays, he's a winner. Right?
Oh, for sure.
He's a winner.
For sure.
So he's not playing like us, where we go, what am I going to do next turn? This is what I'm going to do next turn. And end it there. He's like, He's monitoring the board. He's making changes to his game style. He's thinking all the time. And that's why he's good at it. I am ass at drafts because I'm going to run these colors, and these colors are all I'm going to run. So I just grab red, blue all the time. All the red and blue cards I find, none of them synergize. They're just red and blue.
Mm.
That's it. When Cassie and Chris do drafts, they're like, okay, this card does this. I think this is going to be the core of my deck. Because, I'm proud. It's like they have the rarities, right? Every card game has the rarities.
Yeah.
So you get like, okay, this is good. I'm going to build off of that. And that's why they do better than me. Cassie built the deck. She was like, this whole thing is red, black and white. And it's all about making people lose life and gain life. And I was like, oh. And she went far. She won a whole draft.
Yeah.
Right? I have red and blue. I play red card. I play blue card. Oh, I lose.
See, that was like me. Every time you guys tried to get me to make my own deck, I was like, I would see all the colors and I'd be like, I kind of want to use all of them, though. You guys.
And that's the best part. You can't.
Yeah, but that was the thing. But and that was my problem. Is I kept on taking influence of other people. Like, you guys, you probably shoot it because it doesn't synergize well. Because if you don't pull the right colors, then it becomes a mess. I'm like, okay, I guess I'll try to minimize it, and it still end up out of the 4 or 5 colors, I'd be like, all right, I'll minimize it to 3. And everyone would still be like, oh, are you sure? Like people usually keep it to 2. I'm like, I'll make it work. We'll figure it out.
And but that's and whatever. Magic is a really fun game. Play it.
Yeah.
But what about your hobbies, man? Well, your hobbies are more relatable, if I'm being honest.
Dude. How do you mean relatable?
I mean,
pick one of my hobbies, and maybe I can
we can go like an old hobby of yours, rock climbing.
Oh, for
rock
sure.
Rock climbing was an amazing hobby you had.
Yeah, man. So I was a rock climber in the sense. I mean, I started with my cousin. His name is Chris, but different Chris.
Right.
So I had a cousin Chris, and so I was not in a dark place, but at the same time, I was not doing well. And I was like, I need something to get me out of a rut.
Right.
And he was like,
that's
hey.
what hobbies do.
Yeah, and we were little roommates, so I mean, his bed was here, and my bed was over there, and I was like, we had the same work schedule. I was like, yo, what do you do in your hobbies? He's like, well, besides smoking weed, I was like, besides smoking weed, I like doing. He worked at a gym, so I like to stay fit. I was like, and I remember we came up across the topic. He was just telling me old stories of I went to Planet Granite once in Sunnyvale, and I went rock climbing, super fun, and for my high school thing, I was like, I want to go rock climbing. He's like, okay, let's do it. And we just went to the nearest one, and that was our midpoint location from our jobs, because I was working at a Costco. And we just started climbing, dude. We had no, I didn't have any idea, of any technique or any skills or anything. I just jumped on the wall, right? Because, everyone, like you said, card games, people look at it different. Same thing. My cousin was more methodical, and he would, try to wiggle his hands and, okay, if I grab it like this, then I could do that, or switch my hands, or this and that. For me, I was just, because we started bouldering first, which you don't need harnesses. You fall, you're only falling, 10 feet on very soft pads, and we knew how to fall. Right? Him and I used to be, little monkeys on the playground, and, we'd play, our own games. It's okay, you can't touch the ground. So, we just took that, and we just kept running with it, took rock climbing, right? And, we started Like he showed me like the basics, and I was like, okay, let's do it. And I was that guy that was like, okay, I see the colors, I'm just gonna go. No plan, just go. And I fall off. I'm like, okay, go again. Right? And, you know, people take breaks in between. Like you fall off, you're like, okay, shake your arms out, look at it, look at the puzzle, see what you see. Okay, I could have done better there. No, I was just like, all right, I got first step 1 and 2 done. Step 3, go. You know, and I fucking fall again. And then like, as I would watch other climbers climb, you know, as I like, because I would take a break because I was tired. It wasn't because I was trying to analyze. I was like, oh my god, my arms are dead. But I want to climb again. I'll just take a break. I'll watch someone else do it real quick, and I learn from it.
Right.
You know, even from like this, because my cousin is like 5'2", so he was like a good 8 inches shorter than me. I'm like, oh wow, he's climbing like that. Okay, let me try that. My 5'10" ass, my 5'10", 11" ass. I was like, okay, let me try. Oh, I don't fit. All right, I have to find my own way. And like I make it work for me. And that was like the thing of climbing is like, how, you know, the real kicker is like being a route setter though. So those are the people that make the problems because they have to pertain it to every person,
Right.
of any size, right?
Yeah.
And like obviously you gotta, okay, if you're smaller and you can't reach, well, guess you're gonna have to be a little more flexible, right? Or if you're too tall and you gotta scrunch up, you're gonna have to like put yourself in an awkward position to start, and then you go.
Now, honestly, I'm gonna be real.
Mhm.
That makes so much. I didn't know like there were specific routes you're supposed to take.
Well, when I first learned, so that wasn't my very first time. The very first time was a blur. It was my brother's friend's birthday, and I just came with my mom to go pick up my brother, and they're like, hey, like, no one's looking. Do you want to harness up and just climb? And I was like, yeah. You know, I didn't know the rules. You know, like some places do it by like tapes, right? So like colored tapes. Follow the colored tapes. Other places do it color-coded like holds, right? So that one's a little easier to see because it's like, oh, red to red to red to red. Makes it less like convoluted.
Right.
When I was like 6 or 5, I was like, oh, I'm just gonna scramble, you know, just grab whatever I can, and just go up. And that's what I did.
like Sabretooth.
Yeah.
Like in the movie where he's just like he's just climbing.
Exactly. Like there was no like rhyme or reason. I was just like up, 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 up. And I hit the wall, and I was like, calm down, because it's like a auto belay system. So like, you fall down, the thing catches you, and you just like gently like.
And they gently let you.
It was like you're like a feather, just like whoosh, 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 whoosh. You know, I was like, oh my god, that was so much fun. And now I look at it, I was like, I did that so wrong. You know, I was like, I did that so wrong at that age, but I guess I didn't do it wrong. But like in terms of like how I look at it now, I was like, oh, that was wrong. You know, now it was like as you get better and as you progress, like the climbing gets harder. Like you take it outdoors or whatever. You know, like I started indoors, and then I had my climbing teacher who was like a private teacher who I used to help make rock climbing holds with. He would take me outdoor climbing. Same thing, we go bouldering first, right? Like I don't belay, because like belaying you have to have at least 2 people. You have to have a bunch of pads set up. There's just a lot of gear. Yeah. For us, we were just like, we just want to drive up to the mountains and just start climbing. So we did
yoga.
So we did. We took like we took the basic essentials, right? Like a couple like fall mats, you know. And we just like find this. He knew all the spots in like Arizona, right? That's where I'd go outdoor climbing. Yeah. He'd be like, okay, like try this one. I'd be like, okay, and like it's so much different outdoor to indoor because the rocks are real. Yeah. Right. Indoor, like the rocks are nice and smooth, so like your fingers are like they fit just nicely, and like there's no jaggedness going into your fingers.
Right.
You know?
Like it's just a nice grip.
Yeah.
A nice.
Yeah.
Solid grip.
And so outdoors, it's way different. It's like, oh, that's ripping my hand. Oh man, okay, power through. Yeah, okay, that one rips even harder. Okay, pinky. Oh, and now I can get my index. Okay. Oh god. You know, and like you're like this, everything's like getting stabbed to death, and you're like, oof. Okay, but I want to get the top. I'm gonna get there. You know, and it's like just persevere. Because it's like, okay, it's less about like, okay, you know how to do it. It's just a matter of, do you want it that badly now? Yeah. And there were some climbs I was like putting my hands on, and I was like, I don't want it that badly. All right. Yeah. And then we progressed too, because like people would like try to set routes on real rock, and it's like, why? Right? For me, it's all functionality in that sense of like, okay, we're gonna have to sit start. I was like, why are we sit starting? If my goal is to climb this thing as fast as I can to avoid this tiger chasing me, I'm not gonna be okay. Let me sit start first. Okay, I'm ready now. No.
Right, like I'm not gonna be.
No, I'm gonna like
proper form.
Right, I'm gonna ninja my way up and get as high as I can, reach the best thing I can grab, and just scramble. That's it. Yeah. And like now it's a methodical scramble.
I mean, and actually, I do want to ask you this.
Yes.
Because I've genuinely been trying to wrap. I've never gone around to Googling. I could have easily Googled this.
Mm-hmm.
But, you use your resources, people. Right? That's what the whole point, again. Everything I have to say today is about making sure you have a hobby and you're not sitting alone in your house.
That's like the beautiful thing is like, I mean, I don't know, I haven't really brushed up on Japanese history that well, but I think from what I've been like reading into on the little things I have, like Japanese school systems are really good in the sense that they force, and like private schools too. We all went to private schools, but they forced you to do a hobby.
Right.
It didn't matter what, just at least one.
Yeah.
There's so many benefits to it, right? Like the social interactions you get with people, it makes you break out of this little bubble kind of thing, and like. I was like a one-trick pony because I was so invested in soccer, right? That was me.
Yeah.
Right, and then I didn't start building up different hobbies until after I was finished with that because I wanted to take that further than just a hobby at the time.
You know what? Actually, though, the funniest thing in the world, to me anyway, when I went to Japan, my homestay student was a gymnast, and in Japan they make you go to school on Saturday purely to do the whole like hobby thing, right?
Yeah.
Whatever sport or extracurricular you pick. And now, after hanging out with like a gymnast, I completely understood why every single anime about school is always like, we don't give a shit about what you actually learned in school, your hobbies. And
that was the kind of it though,
dude,
right?
they went
Like
so fucking hard in those hobbies.
that was the thing. It was like, okay, like we want you to get basic education, right? Know your numbers, know how to talk to people. But really, get real life experience, because that's how you're gonna, that's what the real life is gonna be like. You're gonna be talking to a shit ton of people.
Right.
If you want to work a job, you're gonna have to interact with people.
Right.
No matter what.
You know what actually blew my mind? This is just a quick clip.
Oh, go for it.
I asked a teacher there, right, who spoke English. I was like, so can you read that newspaper? And they went, homeboy, you gotta take Japanese from literally first grade to the graduation of college, and then chill in society for 4 years if you want to be able to read every single fucking thing on this newspaper. I was like, what the fuck?
Well, that's what I learned too, was like when I was taking Spanish in high school, right? It's easier to speak it, harder to read it for a lot of people.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Same with like English too, right? We can speak, here's the thing, we don't have to speak perfect English, You can say like, you can talk whatever dialect or whatever like form you talk in, and I could pick up the pieces, or I could piece together if I try hard enough.
Right.
But you read something that's literate, you're like, oh God, they use such big words. What does this mean? I don't know what this means. And it's like, okay, I'm good.
Yeah.
That's Shakespeare, right? Like when
fucking Shakespeare.
Right, he was like the pioneer of the English language and making new words, right? So it came so weird to everyone who read it because they're like, I've never seen this word before. It's like, no one has. It's Shakespeare, man.
Shakespeare, a trendsetter. Back in the fucking, 16? You're a history buff.
I think
Speaking of hobbies, like, genuinely, this guy right here, in learning about history. Because, like, there's learning about history in school, and then there's what you do.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
yeah, man.
I have a question. So in the last year and a half since everyone's been in a pandemic, we've all tried to come up with things to not just sit at home and binge TV. Although some people are doing that. What are some hobbies you came up with in the last year and a half, or revisited?
I tried getting into so many things that just never worked out. I tried starting a fish tank. That has failed twice right now. Like I bought shrimp. For, those most recent time.
Are you trying to create Finding Nemo's fish tank in your?
No,
house?
I'm honestly, I'm genuinely I just want a fish tank where I can buy fish and put a fish in and not have it die. And
it's maintenance, dude. Yeah,
but it's not just maintenance. I have gone to websites. I have asked people. I've gone to forum pages. I've had conversations with people in PetSmart about this shit. And my only question ever was, how do you start a fish tank? I'm looking for detail. What's up, motherfucker?
Do you still want to? My brother is really good at it.
Yeah, I do. Because,
Okay.
So the most recent time, first time I try it, they're like, you pour this bacteria in your tank. You wait 2 weeks after filtering and everything, and then you buy plants, and then you buy, after the plants settle for another week, then you buy a fish, and then it should be good. I tried that, and then my water turned to shit for no reason. Right? The plants just died, everything got dirty. And so the second time, I was like, okay, I tried it this way, it didn't work. So how do I start a tank? And some fucking dumbass at PetSmart went, you take this bottle, you pour it in, you wait 24 hours, you buy a fish. And I was like, oh, miracle bottle. Fucking miracle bottle. Pour it in, 48 hours, I bought shrimp. Within the first 3 fucking hours of that, 2 of my 4 shrimp died. I think 3 of my 4 shrimp died.
Oh.
And the only shrimp, and like, here's the thing, right? It wasn't like they were sitting at the bottom and they just went, oh no, it's not good enough, died. They struggled for survival. They were like going up to crevices, right? Like, I have the decorations in there. They would find nooks and crannies where they were just barely up out of the water, but like still in the water, but like barely out of the water, so they could get the oxygen they needed to survive. And one of them, and I kid you not, this shrimp, still alive. I haven't seen him eat. I have not seen him do anything other than just be alive in my tank. And I'm like, this shrimp is just built different. Because I bought 4. I bought 4 shrimp. I found one dead. Threw it away. I have not seen the other 3. The other 2. But that one fucking shrimp. I swear to God. I check it every day. I see it and I poke it to see if it's alive. And it swims away and I'm like, holy shit. And then I also tried to get a 3D printer working, which broke. So, oof.
Oh, so it's finally shit? It finally hit the shitter?
Yeah, no. I have no idea what's wrong with it. It just stops printing halfway through. Like, I can print, that cube they have you print as a test print? I can print that cube like nobody's business. But just that cube. I print anything else, it goes, we tried. But halfway through, we just decided we weren't going to do this anymore. But we kept printing. It's just nothing's coming out.
I mean, the way you described when you bought that printer, right? The way you described it, it just sounded so complicated. You had to print certain pieces for it so it could function better, right?
So when I first got it, yeah. Well, I was a dumbass, right? I bought it because there were all these videos about 3D printers, and I'm like, okay, I just need a simple 3D printer. Everybody and their mother was like, listen, bitch, you want a good 3D printer? Fuck a simple 3D printer. So the good 3D printers, you gotta assemble them yourself, and then in the assembly you learn what the parts are and how they interact and how you maintain maintenance. I bought a pre-built box basically, and something I should have learned. I wish I knew before going in. What really fucked up my printer was there was something with it was clunking. Right? There was something wrong with the gears. Yeah. I needed to take it apart, clean it apart, put it back together. That's what I should have done the moment I heard the clunking. Yeah. I didn't know what the clunking meant. What the clunking meant actually was it's getting clogged. So it was getting clogged, and I just left it on. Yeah. I was like, for like hours, it clunked, and I was like, shit, and it's still printing, it's good. Yeah. And then after the last print where it clunked the whole night through, I was like, okay, empty it out, clear it, unclog it, okay, try it again. And from that point forward, it never worked again. But yeah, what did you do over COVID?
Oh, dude, what haven't I done? It didn't seem like I did a lot to begin with, but I mean, we went to school, man. I don't consider that a hobby, but that put me. I mean, this was a hobby, right? We did the podcast. The reason I did the podcast was I was like, oh god, dude, I don't want school to be all my entire hell. So let's find a solace and find a way that we can hang out and make it seem like we're not dragging along. We're not dragging each other through what's up, man? What'd you do? Homework. I mean, we still did that shit, but at the same time, it was like, hey, we get to fucking chill out now and do the podcast. We'll work together a little bit. It was like, it was a good way to get people out.
That's where I went to go, man. Because if you look back at the episodes we filmed during school, I'm a much angrier person.
I think half the time our intros were our usual, our basic ass intro, and then it was school. Literally, we had to premise everything fuck, dude, school has been such a bitch.
Yeah, that's how we started.
School is such a bitch. But guess what? We're almost done with finals now, so guess what? One more semester and then school will be a bitch for spring.
Right.
Or one more week and school will only be a bitch for one more semester. And then we got summer break. Yeah. And I was like, I might go to school during summer, and that didn't happen.
Nah, fuck that.
What about you picked up drawing again, right?
I picked up drawing and like all different forms of art, as you'd say. So like I use pastels, markers. I usually I got started with Sharpies when I first got into art, but like just markers, pencils, pastels, watercolor, like you name it, like organizational art in the sense, like expressive. There's a whole bunch of
There's so many.
I've
seen your art. Some of it's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's the ones I like put a lot of work or time in. But for me, like I have like 4 or 5 different sketchbooks, and I don't use them how they're supposed to be used. Like there's one that's literally meant for oil and pastels. I don't use that one yet.
Yeah.
Like, I've used my oil and pastels on my sketchbooks, which are meant for pencils. So I kind of I go for I do my own thing with stuff, and then just like let it be, right?
I have nothing to say because like I hardcore, like early on in life, went and looked at art as like a thing, and just went not for me. Not for me. Artists, like I live with an artist, right? Cassie is a hardcore artist. Everything she like I say little, her brain, an idea pops in, and she goes, like okay, classic example, right? This is a classic artist thing. I don't get why people do it. I don't get why artists do it. But a lot of artists will go, like, she wanted a table, right? Every artist and their mother, for some reason, goes, I bought this basic thing. Time to add a little spice.
Oh, I do that all the time.
That makes no...
You do this all the time?
No,
That's an example.
This wasn't even my idea, though. This wasn't my idea. Somebody was like, Chris was the one who was like, we should all sign the table.
Yeah, but that's an example. You know what I mean?
That's an example of what artists
do. Like the backpack, right? I bought the backpack and I was like, it's so plain. I'm gonna add something that makes it mine. So I drew this.
Right.
You know
you look at my backpack, plain.
Yeah, very plain.
Very plain.
I'm like that.
Artist, man.
Yeah.
You guys like it's. I mean, I kind of get it, right? Because when I talk to artists about programming, right? Because that's the one thing I take pride in. It's the fact that when you tell me to program something, I'm like, I'm not gonna hand in some hanky-danky shit. I'm not like, here you go, it kind of breaks if you enter this, but just don't enter that, you're good. I'm like, no. You mess with my code, motherfucker, you better be ready.
Yeah.
Right? But, and so when I talk about programming them, it's the same way as when they talk to me about art. Because
right.
it's just 2 different worlds and modes of thinking.
It could be.
Yeah.
Could be, but like you and I can like mediate that sometimes.
You and me can mediate because you understand me and I understand you.
Right. Well, not only that too, but like I've also delved into coding and in various forms, so it's not, like that's the thing. It's like I'm not just like an artist in that sense. I'm like artist, but I want to understand how an engineer thinks because like you never know. Like, dude, how do you engineer? How do you like computerize certain things? Right. Some people do it literally through code. Right, some people draw it out, sketch it out. Some people code it out, right? Didn't your mom's husband,
fiance?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Didn't he code something in that sense? Like,
he took a painter's style, right, and made a program to change his pictures to make them look like. So if I took a picture of like our producer right now,
it would just make it look like someone painted.
It would make like that specific artist painted it. Which
it's
is
like
really
a filter.
Cool. Yeah, it's like a filter. Yeah.
So yeah, exactly. So like, how do you you need a coder and an artist to create filters, right?
Right. Yeah.
So like, there's got to be someone to be able to at least understand the language, right? Like for me, I don't see my art amazingly, right? So I have some good projects. I have some shitty projects, right?
Like this backpack, one of the best pieces of art, and it's one of your oldest too, which is nice.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, that and that's what I mean. It's like this, and then there was also like. But like, if I wanted to digitize this, I don't know how to code, so like, but I want to make sure that they get every aspect of my art if we're gonna go that route kind of thing. Right. So if that's the case, I gotta know at least some of the lingo to be able to like make sure they don't ruin it, but at the same time, there's freedoms there, at least the way I see it, right? Because like, now that this is mine, when we're gonna digitize it, it's no longer just mine because I'm gonna get a second party to help me.
Right.
So instead of being like, that's mine. No. That's ours now, right? If you coded that for me, you add your own little stank to it, add your own little spice to it. So now guess what? It's a blend of mine and yours.
Add a little bit of spice.
It's like art, like literal music artists, right? Like, hey Drake.
Oh my Lord.
Hey Drake, I want you to be in my song. Instead of saying it's Nicki Minaj and Drake's song, it's Nicki Minaj featuring Drake, right?
Right. Yeah.
And he could have a big part of it, but it's her song,
Right.
right?
I always thought this was another thing, right? Artists. Actually,
In the
I'm gonna
musical
just skip
sense.
over that. I'm gonna ask you a question.
Okay.
Do you think, as you build your hobbies up and as you like get more in depth with your hobbies,
Mhm.
it like changes who you are as a person?
Always.
Yeah.
100%.
Why?
I mean, that's
I
just
think-
how. Go ahead. What do you have to say?
I feel like sometimes you pick hobbies that already resonate with who you are as a person, so it just kind of makes you more of who you are.
But like this example, right? Like, when I was talking to all those physics students
Mhm.
right, in that class I took, they would talk to me and they'd go, "That's a computer scientist talking. That's a computer scientist's way of thinking." Do you think there's like a climber's way of thinking, or like there's definitely an artist's way of thinking?
Okay,
But, like,
so
But again,
climbers
so
and,
this is
like,
where it gets
magic.
all murky, right? Because like there's Picasso art, there's Monet art, right? There's Frida Kahlo art. So like they all thought differently, right? Because they had like their own they're all part of their own little art movements, right? Cubism, right? Expressionism, abstract
Right.
art,
Well,
right?
I mean,
and I feel like each of those like
postmodern, architecture, right?
each of those touches on like a different aspect of your brain too. You
For
use like,
sure.
different skills, so maybe
see, and this might just be me not being an artist, but like when you said all those names and all those different genres of art,
Uh-huh.
my mind just went, those are kind of all the same thing. Because
Right,
when
but
I
then-
say that,
And it's like once you, I mean, that's like the same thing as like,
it's like someone saying if I know Java versus Python.
right. It's like
Yeah.
it's like
It's all the same thing.
to
but-
you when I say those names, it's like you say Java, Python, C++. It's like what are those? They're all coding things.
right?
Oh, so they're all programs? No, that's a language. What
Right.
the fuck's the difference? right.
Exactly.
I know the difference, but like for some people they'd be like, I don't know what the difference is. Like, just put it on the computer for me.
Right.
Right? Like when someone's like, hey, can you design a website? Your brain goes to like
What's the best-
engineering,
yeah.
C++, Python.
Yeah.
And some people are like, oh no, I meant just like edit on GoDaddy.
Yeah,
right?
GoDaddy.
Like you're just like,
Or like some people think of it from the design aspect, and you would think of it from like a coding aspect.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
So like, and that's the thing is like, and that's totally cool if you want to look at it that way. But like for me, right, I didn't care to learn about the history of art. I just jumped into a class to like get rid of some electives. But like I picked that shit up, you know, and it's like, oh wow, because I didn't know the difference. Because like when I took art in like 4th grade, and my teacher would paint the pictures of those artists. He had like for like Salvador Dali, he had Picasso, he had Monet on there, he had like 4 different ones. And I was like, I don't get it. Like, why'd you put them on there? And then you look at the background because he added his own style to it. And
Yeah.
he drew like one of their paintings of each person in the background. And on those, you look at it and you go, oh, wow, like, okay, so, is that why there's greens in that one? Like, even though he's, there's no such thing as a green person, right? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
oh, there's hints of green in there. Wow, interesting. Like, that doesn't make sense. Oh, that art period was expressionism. Oh, I get it. Oh, why is his ear, like, on his neck? Oh, that's cubism or that's abstract art, Oh, that makes sense now. Oh, you know what I mean? Oh, Salvador Dali, why is his nose a cloud? Oh, he's surreal. Oh, I get it. And Frida Kahlo, why is she just playing? Oh, because she did a lot of auto self-portraits, right?
Yeah.
And back in the day when she was doing it, you didn't have a camera and look at the picture and go, okay.
Yeah.
No, she had to figure a way out of finding something that would reflect her, and then she'd draw her own reflection.
Yeah.
I think this is what I look like. I like how I look. And everyone else like, oh, but you had that unibrow. She didn't give like she drew that unibrow because she liked it.
Yeah.
She could have easily just went erase that unibrow.
Right.
That's what I look like.
Well, that unibrow changed the game.
No, for sure, because like you might not even know the name, but the way I described her, you kind of know her.
I didn't. Yeah.
You
Frida
even, like-
Kahlo, I was like, who the fuck is
Yeah,
Frida Kahlo?
but then you're like,
I know
oh,
the
she's the
picture,
one with the unibrow. The one with the monobrow. You're like, oh yeah, now I know her face because
Right.
she's the only artist that ever drew herself with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I
Cool.
will say like
Yeah, there you go.
maybe like you approach life differently because of certain hobbies. Like
Yeah.
so like for
Always,
tricking or whatever,
yeah, still
like
always is my answer.
people have to like gear themselves up to do like a double twist or like a double backflip or whatever. But everyone's approach is just do it or like fuck it. But like not like
But that doesn't work
A
for
coder might not have that like approach.
Yeah.
Like,
And that's the
whereas
thing.
when you're facing like okay, if you don't give it your all, you have a higher chance of getting injured. So you might as well just like yeet it.
Right.
Versus like a coder is like not about to do that because they're like if I just just try it and it fucks up and just show it to my boss and might like screw me over.
Okay, so mindsets, right? In terms of hobbies, right? So like for me, I have multiple hobbies. I play the ukulele time and again. I don't have a single hobby, and I'm not the best at one single hobby like a lot of people. People hone a single hobby, master it, and then boom, on to the next. Or boom, I'm going to perfect this one. For me, it's more of like, what do I feel like I want to do today? Oh, I kind of want to draw. I'll sketch a little bit. I feel kind of cramped in my room. I'm going to go to the park, or I'm going to go across the street, sketch at the coffee shop, or whatever. I don't even sketch what's in front of me. It's just like the feel and the flow of things, you know?
Right.
So maybe that's like the artist's perspective of like, you know, it's like, it doesn't have to be the spot, it doesn't have to be the place, it doesn't have to be the certain medium in the sense of like pen to paper, notebook, or like to pencil, whatever it is.
Yeah.
It could be pastel. Sometimes I pull out literally like a Sharpie, I'm just like, boop, 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 boop. And I just did like a watercolor thing, and I'm like, well, I guess we're going to work with it, because like that was the feel. You know what I mean? It's like very expressive in the sense of like, it felt right. The orange Sharpie felt right. I have to put some orange in there for some reason, kind of thing, you know?
And that's why I say that hobbies give you a certain mentality, because to you, right?
Sure.
You see these different, like you see these art forms and like music and pastels and Sharpie and like just crayon or whatever, right?
Yeah, and then that's like again, that's not even the like gist of my hobbies. That's just one category that I sit in.
Right, but what I'm trying to get at is that like I'll see that and just go, oh, he's an artist.
Yeah. Right.
You are tons of other things, right?
And that's the thing too. Is I do the same to that point. I'm like, oh, what are you? What do you do? I'm an artist.
Right.
Oh, what do you do as an artist? Oh, well, I remodel kitchens with my dad. That's not art. That's carpentry.
Right.
Well, I mean, like, if you want to look at it through my eyes, I see it as art. Because guess what? We're changing an image of this kitchen that was once dilapidated. We're reinvesting or reinvigorating it. We're putting life into this kitchen now, right? Or, like, same with, like, how I set up my room. Like, behind closed doors, it could get messy, but, like, controlled mess sometimes. And I'm like, it's art to me because it helps me to clear my mind in a way. And now I can think clearly, right?
Right.
Some people like watch TV, right? And that's a hobby too. Don't get me wrong. Like for me, I don't watch, and it's for different reasons, right? Some people watch it for entertainment purposes. I do that sometimes, but now I've gotten to the point where I watch it and I look for like not deeper meanings, but I'm like, okay, like what is this pulling out of me? Why was I drawn to this show? Why did I pick YouTube? You know?
Yeah.
Like I kind of break down, but I break down as small as I can, but at the same time I bring it back to generalisms, right?
Right.
Oh, I'm picking YouTube. Why? Well, I'm feeling it. It's the vibe I'm picking up right now. Why this video? Oh, because I don't know. It's associating with me for some reason. It's like because when you look at like YouTube, Netflix, they base algorithms on things you watch or things you do. So it's like I don't like try to correct the algorithm in a sense. I don't try to let it predict my movements either. I just go with the flow kind of thing.
Right.
Oh, I guess, hey, that algorithm wasn't wrong there. Boom. Let's watch that video.
Are you ready for the algorithm to become the next god of the human race?
Who? What?
The algorithm to become the next god of the human race?
When is what?
Yeah.
For what?
Do you get it? No, so there's this running theme in sci-fi TV shows, right? Where because you know how everybody's always like the algorithm, right?
Well, yeah, I mean that was like they did it in the Space Odyssey. If you've ever seen that movie or read that book, where they're like, "What's the answer to the universe?" And they're like, "Give us a second, we'll figure it out." And they come back 7 years later or whatever, and they're like, "It's 42."
You mean Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy?
Oh, what did I say? Space Odyssey?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Wasn't that part of like the bigger series called the Space Odyssey?
I believe that was all. It was kind of all part of Dune, really.
Well, Dune is like. Wait, really? No, because Dune is like a whole different book.
No, but like
But you're right. It was Hitchhiker's Galaxy. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yeah, we're not gonna get into the.
No, but you corrected me correctly.
Is Dune the father of all sci-fi?
No, but so like that was the thing though, right? Like that was what's the answer to the universe? It's like it's 42, but we don't know what the specific question was.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's such a broad question. We have the answer. It's 42. All right, but how does that pertain? I don't know. It's 42. Just take it.
Just go. Right? You wanted the meaning of life 42.
Yeah.
Right. But
what does that mean though? It's like how does that associate with stuff? You asked for the answer. We built the supercomputer. It gave us the answer. Go.
Right. Yeah. But real quick, and then we'll probably wrap up soon. Like why do you think hobbies are important to you?
To me, well, dude, that's just. I mean, it's like the same thing as like who your friends are, right? You're influenced by what you do, who you hang out with, who you surround yourself with, what you surround yourself with. So for me, if I want to be an artist, I'm going to surround myself with the arts, right? What is art to me? And like, what's coding to you, right? Like,
oh, well, I have a different meaning.
That's like a rhetorical question, right? But you know what I mean? It's like, what's art to me? Oh, well, like what I wear could be considered art. Do I consider art? No, it's just clothing, right?
Right.
Oh, you know, this drawing that I did, is that art? Depends, right? It's eye of the beholder, right?
Right. Yeah.
Oh, that doesn't look like art. That looks like garbage. Okay, well, I see it as art, right? And that's when it becomes like, have you ever seen like, you know who Jackson Pollock is?
Yes.
So he's the guy who does like all the like splatter paint stuff.
Right. Yeah.
And people go crazy for it, and other people are like, "What the fuck is this?"
Right.
Or like, there's like a couple of them where it's literally like just not because Jackson Pollock gets crazy with the splatters, but there's some people that like just do like splat. There it is, and they're like,
right.
"Wow!" And you'll see people who look at it and go, "Wow," and you're like, "What?"
I'm still mad. I'm still mad at that one artist lady who basically just went ahead and said, "I lived in a room for 3 weeks, and now I took everything out of my room." She did a lot of work for it because she had to take the bed out, the ashtrays, everything, and meticulously place it to where they were placed in the room when she lived in it. But then she took a pallet, like a big ass pallet, and put everything on top of it. It said, "This is an art piece."
Yeah.
Who wants
Interior
to-
design.
No. Genuinely, like, if you like, she got paid. I think 200 million for it. She basically goes, okay, and then they take a forklift and they lifted it and they put it in a truck, and whoever bought it just has that, like in their backyard or in a room somewhere.
So it's like a set.
Yeah, it's like a set, and that was like something.
Because I mean, someone was willing to buy it because someone saw what, or you know what I mean? It's like someone either saw what she saw, or you know what I mean? It's like. I know what she's doing with that, and I need to buy it because it has such meaning to me or value to me.
Right.
So much so that I'm putting $200 million on it, kind of thing. Right?
And is that kind of like what art feels like to you?
I mean,
like,
I don't put monetary value to stuff. You know that about me.
I know you don't, but when you do your art and you're looking at your piece, do you believe it's valuable to yourself? Is each is the art you do valuable to you?
So here's the thing, right? I have like everyone has like a block in a sense, right? Like writer's block, artists have block too.
Yeah.
I always have artist block. But mine is like I don't know when to finish something. So like for me it's like, oh, when you sign something off, that's generally when you finish it, right? I'll go back into that same piece that I like signed off and be like, oh shit. Let me just touch that up. And I had to get some I had to get a second opinion from my dad's previous artist that helped him like remodel houses and do his construction and remodeling, and he was like, yeah, sometimes you just gotta say I'm satisfied. And that's my problem was like I'm never satisfied. He's like, I get that, but that's like that's how me as an artist sees things, is like it's not that I'm never satisfied. It's like, I think I can improve on it. And then sometimes you either gotta like lock it away and be like, it's good, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And for me, I can't sometimes, to the point where my dad has to do it for me, where he's like, okay, I'm framing this, you can't touch it anymore. I'm like, oh, okay. And I'll look at it, I'll be like, I could, and he's like, no, it's done, I already framed it, the glass is there, you can't touch it anymore. I'm like, and it's like almost like I'm like trying to like take my own art back, take it out, and be like, okay, now it's done. But I know if I keep doing that, I see it. It's almost like a perfectionist mindset too. At the same time, it's like, okay, I'm satisfied. Here, take it. It's yours. Okay, thanks. Wait. Oh, okay, wait, hold on. I actually one more thing. Boop, 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 boop. Now it's done. All right, even better. Oh wait, one more thing. Do, 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 do.
Yeah. No.
That's me sometimes.
That's me in coding though.
Why do you think hobbies are important? Like for you?
For me.
So I don't even know if I answered that question. So go ahead and answer. I'll see if I can sum up my answer.
Definitive answer for me. Definitive answer. I play hobbies because they make me genuinely feel like a god. Because the thing is this, right? My hobbies include programming and playing tabletop games.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I do those things, my mind just forgets that, like, oh, you're a normal person living in California, just
So like
doing normal
an
things.
escape from reality.
Right,
what a lot
like
of people call
genuinely,
it, right?
I am no longer where I was. When I open up that laptop or I get to my desktop and I open up that, like, you know, like, depending on wherever you program, right? When I open that up, everything outside of what's on my screen melted away.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm, like, in there and I'm like, I'm going to build. I'm not building anything extreme, but I feel like I could when I'm doing it. You know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
I feel like if I'm programming just to do, like, basic data compiling, my mind takes me off and it goes, you could actually take this and you could make it, like, you could input it into the Google algorithm, right? And you could take data from the Google, like, all the data Google has, right? Like, you just pay, like, a couple $100 or whatever and get all that data. And then once you take that data, you can learn so much about the general public, about the world, about anything you want to learn about. Why? Just so you know it. Just so you can look around and find these people and know exactly what the fuck they're eating for lunch.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Right.
and that's why, that's why I do my hobbies. Because for a split moment while I'm doing the hobby, I'm a god.
Do you do it for you?
Yeah.
So for when I do my stuff, I do it for my own happiness.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I do it in the appreciation of, like, I get to share this with everybody kind of thing, right? And it's like, not to the point where, like, it's like, okay, you know, here, I'm sharing this with you. And you go, okay, I don't want it. It sucks.
Right.
Well, that's okay. That's how I look. You know, it's never like, well, oh, god damn it. Now he says it sucks. Whatever. So they're like, no, I'm like, oh, well, you know, like, he doesn't, I guess he didn't see what I thought I saw kind of thing, right? That's okay. Maybe I'll show it to someone else and they'll be like, wow, you know?
Right.
And again, that's probably not going to be the case. But maybe you run into that one person that's like, oh my goodness, wow.
Right.
You know?
And
that's when you're like, oh wow, okay, it's kind of cool, kind of thing, you know?
yeah.
But I mean, like, again, I'm an artist, but I'm not an artist. I never claim to be anything, but at the same time I do, in a sense, right?
Right. Yeah.
Like, currently, I'm an artist now. Tomorrow, I might wake up and be like, maybe I just want to be a ninja. Like, you know, I want to go train to be my Ninja Warrior stuff.
Yeah.
And then I could be like, well, I guess that's an art form if I want to look at it that way. You know what I mean? I could, but at the same time, I'm like, no, I can.
If you deem your body a work of art.
Do I?
I mean, no, I'm just saying for people who, like,
Oh, yeah.
who do
I'm
hobbies.
sure bodybuilders
But-
do.
Yeah, right. Like, they look at
Oh,
themselves
for
and they're
sure.
like peaky.
I mean, they literally call it sculpting for a reason, right?
Yeah.
They're sculpting their body. And there's not like the whole chisel and... No, but like, okay, I'm going to hit those weights. Like, my brother is like, not a bodybuilder, but he sculpts his body to be, like, as you call it, Adonises, right?
Right.
That's not a negative term. That's a really positive term in the sense of like, okay, he wants to look his best.
Right.
Is it for him? Is it for others? That's up to for him to decide.
But
Right?
like,
Everyone, you want to hope it's for him, but then as long as he's happy doing what he's doing, who cares, kind of thing, right?
right. I mean, like, really what, like, I'm just going to say this and I'll end it here.
Yeah.
That is, again, like, why I just feel so strongly that, like, no one hobby, like, no one thing you just do for yourself, like, is the same as anything else anybody else could be doing, right? You're an artist, I'm a programmer, right? And so, like, when you do your art, you do it for yourself, but you want to share it with people, like you said.
If
Right.
they want it, right?
If
It's
they-
not a thing of like, here, take it, or here, I'm trying to...
Right.
No, it's like,
You're like,
I drew this,
look at-
it's out for people to see. You know, if you want to focus on it, sick. If you don't want to focus on it, focus on my voice. You know, if you don't want to focus on my voice, focus on... You know what I mean? It's like, there's so many things you can appreciate. You know, it's like, you don't just have to look at that. Oh, god
Yeah.
damn. Another wave drawing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What a, you know, kind of thing. It's like, okay, then here we go. I got you, homie. You don't want the wave drawing? Oh, look at, you can look at that kind of thing, right? It's
Right.
not art, but guess what? Now you can look at that because I don't want to.
Someone went to college just so they could make a backpack to you.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I mean, again, that's follow your dreams, kids. And with that, we're going to probably end it here. It's your boy Waffles,
And your boy Maui.
and this is Couch Surfing.
Peace.